We all have routines. I'm Jabron, and with diabetes, mine was finger sticks. Sometimes I skip them because they hurt. The Freestyle Libre 3CGM changed that. It gives me glucose insights without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Finger sticks are required if your glucose alarms or readings do not match symptoms, or when you see check blood glucose symbol for the first 12 hours. The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Hear that? That's now Crispy and McCrispy strips meeting Creamy Caesar sauce. Sounds extra crispy. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome on in on this Tuesday morning. DJ and PK, Soccer Boy is off today. We're going heavy on football. We got the football guys. We got me, Jake Hatch, and later on, Mitch Harper and Steve Bartle will come in for an hour apiece, talking obviously Utah football and BYU football. They are our KSL insiders for both of those sports. They do a great job. And Jake, this morning, right now, before the 7 o'clock hour, issues for BYU and Utah. Let's start first with BYU. They got a lot of stuff that's coming back. They got some issues at receiver. I think that's the number one issue from the offensive perspective. What are we thinking? Now, we know we got JoJo Phillips, but we've been waiting. Now's his time. Can he be a big-time receiver?
Well, that's the question that you posed right there, is that if JoJo is capable of being what everybody thinks he is, they're going to be fine. They'll have a true number one wide receiver. But remember, last year, he got off to a good start, breaks his collarbone, misses the entire rest of the regular season, then comes back for the bowl game, had a really good bowl game. Aaron Roderick, throughout spring camp, and everybody I talked to down there, and everybody that would say anything on the record, was raving about Kyler Casper. Now, this is a guy who's a four-star prospect out of Arizona, has had multiple season-ending foot injuries at Oregon.
Yeah.
He claims they're in the past. If that is indeed the case, they will have two guys, one in JoJo Phillips, who stands 6'5", and Kyler Casper is a legit 6'6".
Yeah.
So they could have twin towers at the outside wide receiver spots. That could be really, really nice for them to have, but it is a major question that has to be answered at wide receiver.
And then who's a slot guy? I mean, Parker Kingston was really, really good.
It's probably going to be Legend Glasker. He's the cousin of Isaiah Glasker. Now, I interviewed him last fall, PK, at a Lehigh High School football game, and he told me during that interview, on the record, he volunteered. He said, hey, I actually almost went to BYU this year. I was supposed to graduate in the summer and enroll at BYU this fall. The coaches wanted me there to play. They think really highly of his talent. He's actually bigger than Glasker height-wise. Weight-wise are probably similar, but he's got the same type of game-changing speed, and they think, at least in my mind, he's probably the most likely option to step in.
You said Glasker, you mean Kingston?
Well, he's the same size, like he's taller than Kingston, is what I'm saying.
Right.
So same weight probably overall, but got the same type of speed that Kingston had, and he can be a game breaker, they hope.
Well, they're going to need that, obviously. Expect them to be able to throw the ball with more proficiency, although Bear obviously had a great season for a freshman. But we say as a freshman, so that means that we're expecting more as a sophomore. And I know Aaron Roderick, before the Retzlaff situation, had high standards for Retzlaff coming back for his senior year because he had played exclusively heavily as a junior pretty much the whole season. I don't think he missed any time there. No. And so now they're looking at Bear, same type of deal where he played the whole season. And now it's his second year, but for Retzlaff, it was his second year, even though he played junior college. Bear didn't, so he's a sophomore and, the true sophomore. So I don't know if I can expect a whole lot more, but I do expect more. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't it be? He produced 3,500 total yards of offense last year, PK. He is one of 7 quarterbacks, if I recall correctly, at the Power 4 level, who produced that amount of yards as a true freshman quarterback. And I believe 3 or 4 of those guys of that group went on to be either Heisman Trophy winners or Heisman Trophy finalists. It's a pretty eclectic bunch of guys.
So you're saying Bear is rare?
Well, sure, yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, no, you're right. But I think that you can expect more. If he can push that to maybe, let's say, 4,000 total yards, he's going to be, I think, just fine. The added caveat to all that is LJ Martin. He was the engine that made everything go last year. He's the reigning offensive player of the year in the conference. Right. He was named the preseason offensive player of the year, and by his own acknowledgement, he understands he's got a lot of things riding on him, and he's ready to shoulder that load.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing as if he stays healthy, knock on wood, for draft positioning, essentially.
And to become the all-time leading rusher in BYU history.
Yeah, and there's no reason why he can't be.
Yeah.
The offensive line looks good enough. Looks like they'll be fine there. They've got enough vets returning.
They like it. They like that group.
Yeah, so they should be okay. If the receivers come through, then it looks like their offense is going to be fine, and they're very excited about tight ends.
Yeah.
I know they've got at least two
Lions and Saliapaga
that they think that can make differences. And, we've heard about Lions and Saliapaga. He's from Oregon too, right?
Yeah, so he's an Oregon transfer. He's originally an Orem High School product, but went up to Oregon. His older brother played at BYU. That was the family tie.
Yeah, so I'm expecting big things, and hopefully the health is their way, and there should be no reason why they can't do what they're expected to do. Defensively, Jack Kelly.
Yeah.
But Ulavale, the Cal transfer, another local kid who's coming home. Now, he's only got one season, right?
Yeah,
he's capable, and we know Glasgow is really good, and then there's 3 or 4 others that there's got to be, at all times, a Kafusi in there somewhere.
There's 2, actually. Micah, who, by the way, I think it's Micah, who looks like the spitting image of a linebacker version of Bronson Kafusi. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'll show you the picture, PK. You'll laugh because it looks exactly like Bronson, but they also got Ace Kafusi, his cousin.
Right.
But I think if you want a question for BYU's defense, they've got 2 elite corners, and Evan Johnson, Shmev as they call him, and Trey Alexander. Those 2 are very, very good. They're all Big 12 caliber guys. Behind them, though, PK, it's one journeyman guy in Travion Williams. Is it Travion Williams? I've heard the young man's name who's coming from Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I don't think that's his right name, but apologies. They have one guy coming in from Mississippi State and then a bunch of youngsters.
Right.
So the depth at corner, if those 2 hold up, they're going to be just fine. The question is, are they going to be playing exclusively just those 2 guys at corner? That's not been the style they have played previously in this defense. They've usually rotated 3 or 4 corners throughout games. They've got to have some of these young guys step up at that spot.
And then safeties, we've got Satawal and Damuni.
Yes, those 2, and they're expected to be just fine. Tommy Prassis, who's got a lot of experience as well. Back, yeah.
He had some. Did he play an all last year?
He did. He played. Yeah. Remember, he played that nickelback spot for a while there before he got injured.
Right.
But he's got experience, and they think their safety spot. Tanner Wall was really, really good. He's all Big 12 first team. I got no problem saying great story. Walk on, who became an all Big 12 performer. But they have got 3, 4, 5 guys at that safety spot. They're very confident in.
And then up front, maybe. Well, we're expecting Tunavasa to be a little more. What's the word? A bigger contributor, maybe.
Well, yeah, Justin Kirkland is his compatriot, and they both have said, PK, they think they can be the best tandem of defensive tackles in the Big 12.
And Kirkland, he played some, got injured.
He's played at Oklahoma State,
never
started
really
at
got
Utah
going.
Tech, and he had a knee injury. He showed up in camp last year. His knee just never really was 100%, so they played him in the 4 games they could play him in, redshirted him. He has declared himself fully healthy. The coaches think he's fully healthy. The other thing on the defensive line is they got a lot of young defensive ends. Remember, Nusi Taumoi-Apea last year was a nice revelation. He's the kid from Westlake, a Stanford guy that opted not to go to Stanford after the whole Troy Taylor situation went down. They got to have a pass rush. You talk about Jack Kelly. He had 10 sacks a year ago. He was the first player in Kalani Sitake's decade-long tenure to have double-digit sacks in a season. That's crazy to consider, but it was true. Yeah. They got to replace that. Those defensive ends, Tausilia Kana, Taumoi-Apea, Clegg.
Back a second year.
Bodie Schoonover, those guys have to step up.
I like all those guys. I think they have that opportunity to be as effective as they've been.
Yeah.
We'll see, if the Jay Hill loss is big.
Yeah.
But you've still got guys coaching's Kelly Papinga will be a first year, but he's been coaching now for 15 years. And the guys up front, Gary Anderson's still around, so they've got enough guys from the coaching perspective that have experience. So I suspect they'll be fine, which is why they're some regards are the favorite to win the Big 12. I'd still go with Texas Tech myself until I see otherwise, but BYU, if they have a rematch in the conference final, I'm not going to be surprised.
Well, they're in prove-it mode here, PK. They've got to go out there, and they want to play in the college football playoff. You know what that's going to take?
That should be the goal,
You got to win the Big 12 title, or you have to knock off the likes of a Notre Dame at home.
If you beat Notre Dame, then doors can open.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right, switching over to Utah. Obviously, a lot of change, but also, too, not as much change as I think we want to think there is, actually. I mean, we'll start with the offense. I mean, they only retain one coach in Ottawa, but they retain the running back in Parker. Devin Dampier, if he plays like he did against Nebraska and stays healthy, they are extremely dangerous. Now, I keep hearing, and we'll get it with Steve Bartle will be joining us later in the 9 o'clock hour, these receivers. And Morgan talked about it down in Texas a couple weeks back, that he thinks this group, I hate to say it because we've been hearing it, could be the best they've been, but man. You know, we've cried wolf a little bit about their receivers to where I'm skeptical.
Well, I don't mean to laugh, but you're right. This has been a decade, almost 2 decades of, hey, this is our best wide receiver group to date. And it's like, okay, what are they going to produce? But I really like Braden Pagan, for example.
I mean, he's got a resume.
Yeah, he does. So I want to believe you're right that they are being sincere when they say this, but those wide receivers, you talk about like a prove-it mode for BYU. Both these wide receiver groups at both of these schools have got to step up this year because they've got to help their quarterback out in terms of getting themselves open and making it easier on that quarterback. But you're right. If Devin Dampier plays to the level we have seen from him, the Nebraska game, I even think early on last season, before some of those injuries kind of accumulated on him, he was super dynamic.
I'm expecting big things. I think he is a player of the year caliber in the Big 12.
I agree. Yeah.
If he plays all 12 and he's healthy, and he's a charismatic kid. People rally around him, and I think he wants to show a little bit. No offense for Jason Beck, but it was more me than him.
Well, yeah.
Now he's got that chance to show it because Jason's obviously over in Michigan.
Correct. The guy who brought him to Utah that he had featured in this offense, because some people I think will tell you that Devin Dampier is a system quarterback. He's a product of the system that Jason Beck does on offense because he produced at New Mexico under Jason, produced at Utah under Jason. Well, now with Kevin McGiven taking over, you're right. It's his opportunity to say, I can play in any system here.
Right. And he wants to play in the NFL. I mean,
does.
They all do.
Yeah.
So see what he can do here. Up front, obviously they lose 2 studs on the offensive line.
All 5 starters are turned over.
I think they've had enough guys who've gotten experience, and they showed it a little bit. I can remember talking to Mark Harlan at Allegiant Stadium before the game with Utah on the offensive line. So this is a good opportunity for these guys to show what they can do, and they did.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about this is, they're turning over all 5 starters, but the cupboards aren't bare at that position because Jim Harding did a really good job of stalking talent because it seemed like every time there would be one guy who went down, Jim Harding would just say, hey, I'm going to plug and play this guy, and it worked out.
Right.
Now, will that work without him there? That, I think, is the question that remains, PK, is there's talent there. How quickly can they get integrated? But I thought that the look that you got against Nebraska in Las Vegas showed a lot of what they have on that O-line, even though, none of them were a full-time starter this time last year.
And they've got this big 5-star coming down with Jordan Gross from
Kelvin
Idaho.
Obot, with Jordan Gross,
5-star, man.
Yep.
Offensive line. Spencer Fano was that, and he started day one.
Well, I was going to say, his own coach, Jordan Gross, knows something about playing from the very get-go.
Yeah. Gross obviously was an NFL guy himself under Ronnie Mack coming back now. And so I'm excited to see what they can do offensively. I think the key is keeping Devin Dampier healthy. If Devin Dampier is healthy, they should be fine. Defensively, and they have just been plug and play at the defensive line for years now. Years, literally years.
But here's the problem. It was slipping the last 2 years. It has slipped, PK. I know this is going to come off bad, but I'm telling you, that is my chief concern for Utah defensively, is that defensive line has major question marks about it. I would love for guys like Carson Kafusi, et cetera, to shut me up.
They've been talking about him a lot.
But they have got, that you talk about groups that need to show that they are plug-and-play type guys. It's got to happen along the defensive line. I love
and also obviously the BYU kid is at Michigan. Henry Daly.
Yeah, John Henry Daly. Yeah, their leading sack artist. He's off to Michigan, and so they have got a lot of bodies there on the defensive line. I like to use the term a lot. There's a ton of potential there, but it's got to turn into production.
Yeah, and the thing about it is they over the years have had some big time studs.
Absolutely,
so do they have big time studs?
That's the question that needs to be answered.
Yeah.
Because you're right. For so many years, it was plug and play. You may not know their name, PK, but it felt like every year some guy was going to step into defensive tackle or defensive end and produce it at an elite level for Utah. Because that's just the way that the Whittingham system had worked. I've seen from my vantage point, it's slipping the last 2 years. It's not that it's been awful, but it's slipped to a level that I think that this year's unit, they should feel disrespected. And they need to go out there and shut everybody up with the way that they play.
Yeah. Excited to see if they have a stud.
Yeah.
Because they've had studs.
Yeah.
And Henry Daly, the most recent example. Tonavasa was very good. I can go down the list. I would need a program to remember all the guys. So see what they got there. It seems like since Startu Lele played mid last decade, every year they've had some all-conference candidates. Whether they have them this year remains to be seen.
The Nate Orchards. They've had elite players, and it's been a conveyor belt. Mm-hmm. I think there are bodies there, but the potential, it says, it's got to come through.
Right. Linebacker, losing some talent there, probably to the NFL. We'll see how that plays out with those guys trying to make teams now that camp is underway. But they do have some experience there, and they got a guy coming back who was injured.
Demooney? Levani Demooney?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Levani Demooney, talk about a guy who can ball.
Right.
He's kind of been forgotten because the whole thing, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
Like when you get injured, you disappear off the radar for people.
Right.
If he's back and he's back to what he was, you're gonna have at least one pillar to build around.
Yeah. And they're talking about that. Yeah. And Reynolds has played some, so they've got some guys there. I'm wondering who are going to be the studs in the defensive backfield.
Well,
because they've had a number of guys, right, that go on right to the NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I think we'll see some new faces there. I know Nate Ritchie's got some experience back there, and they've got some other guys that have been able to play. So I think they should be okay. I think they should be okay defensively. They're going to need to be. Because there's some very good offenses. It seems like the Big 12 has some really good offenses.
And they're spread too. They will spread you out. So, okay, if there are two guys on the staff, PK, that I trust that their units are going to hold up, and if not outright excel, it's at safety and at cornerback, because you have Morgan Scally, and now there's going to obviously he's the head coach now, so it's taking him away from his day-to-day responsibilities from being the safeties coach. But he will still instill in these guys, hey, this is the level you're expected to play to. And then at cornerback, I trust what they've always produced. It's kind of what the defensive line conversation we just had. They seem to find somebody all the time, and I expect that those positions will excel, even if you don't know the names outside of maybe a Nate Ritchie, for example, that you're like, I recognize that guy.
Yeah.
By the way, one name to file away. I don't know if he may play a little bit this year. I think 2027 and beyond, though, is his time to shine. Davis Andrews. He's another local product. He's an American Fork High School grad. I am super excited for his potential. I watched him in high school. I called high school games with him. He was dominant at safety. He looks the part, of a Nate Ritchie, of a Morgan Scally himself. Some of these elite safeties that Utah's had in the past. If he's back and in shape, there's no reason to think that he can't contribute this year. But I think,
being from Mission?
He's coming off of a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But that'll be interesting to see how much he can contribute this year, even if I think 2027 is really his time to step into the forefront. All
right, there you go, man. That's what we'll be hitting this morning. Stay with us. We got college football. It's right around the corner. Camps open in less than a week. BYU is going to have a little bit media availability on Thursday. We'll be down there in conjunction with a golf tournament that they put on for the media, so we'll have you covered. So keep it all right here. Coming up next, what's trending on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.